so it's very nice to join you this morning. I was thinking during the week, so I don't know you, I don't know where you come from, I don't know your background, so what can I tell you and what should I be saying? And after a workshop we did together, there were people that is here today and they said, well, it's very interesting to listen to the Gospels or the words of Jesus if we translate it directly from his mother tongue. So mother tongue, as you know, is a very important aspect of our language. And if you speak your mother tongue, you are far more understood by yourself and by others than speaking in translations. The mother tongue just showed again in South Africa as well that the children that just matriculated, their scores are way better when they were taught in their mother tongue. So it's just a natural thing. And the strange thing about the Gospels within the Western tradition of Christianity is that none of the Gospels that we have to read today in Afrikaans or English or what language you use has been translated from the mother tongue of Jesus. Jesus spoke Aramaic. He didn't speak Hebrew, neither Greek. Probably he did understand Greek. It was a world language like English today. And he probably also understood Hebrew because he was a rabbi and he was brought up in the Hebrew texts. And whenever he went into the temple, he read from those texts, like the Isaiah text, and he did it from the Hebrew language. So he probably was well-founded in the Hebrew language. But when he spoke to his disciples and the people that followed him, he used his mother tongue, Aramaic. And when we look at these words from his mother tongue, sometimes, and the text I'm going to use this morning to demonstrate this, the meaning is quite and profoundly different. There's one cornerstone text within the Western tradition of Christianity that says, it's one of the sayings of Jesus that said, I am the way, the truth, and life. Nobody comes to God but by me. And using that, people say, you see, it's only through Jesus. That's the only way that you can come through God, to God, because this is actually what he's saying. And then and I'm going to read, and I hope your Aramaic is up to scratch, that you can understand what I'm saying now. So the Aramaic says, Enya enya ura sherara haye. Just listen to the words. It starts with enya enya. It's a double word. And we don't find it in any translation in any language, except in the original Aramaic. The enya is I. But it says here, I. It is as if Jesus says the I within the I. And that is profoundly different than I am the way. He says now, I am the way. The I am in me is the way. Not me, the person, the man standing in front of you, but the I am within the I. That is the way. And that brings the knowledge that we need to understand. It gets just more interesting. You understand what the I am is. The I am is the breath of God, and we read it in Genesis 2 verse 7. The story, and it is just the story, goes like they made Adam, God made Adam, and he was lying there, and then he breathed his breath into his nostrils. And the word used is nephesh. And when you go back to the Aramaic, Jesus used the Aramaic term nafshah, which means breath of God. So when Jesus spoke to people, he never said, hey you, or hey you man, or hey you woman. He said, you nafshah. So Jesus didn't see the person, he looked at that breath within the person, the source of life, and that's the I am. Because when Moses asked God, so I've been sent to the Pharaoh, and what should I tell him? Who sent me? He said, I am. Just that. So this I am within Jesus, but the good news, this I am within you, is the way, the truth, and life. If we go further into this text, It says Urha, which we translate in English and in Afrikaans as the way or the pad or the road. But Urha within the Aramaic language, and that's what you need to understand from Aramaic, like the Hebrew, which is the older form of Aramaic, every letter, the A and the B and the C and the D of the alphabet, within itself carries a deeper meaning. So when they built or write the language, they would take, for instance, the A and the B and put it together, and that word means something. But if you translate it, you have to go and see what does the letters mean, because this word carries within it the deeper meaning of the separate letters. So translating Aramaic and Hebrew, which we don't do, is such a profound exercise that you have to understand the letters by itself and then the words built up by these letters. And if you take these letters within Urha, which means the way, it says it's more than just the way. It's the light uncovering the way. So it's the light shining upon the way that will reveal something. And that's exactly what the next word says. So the way, the life, and the life we all know is the source of life within us, the I am within all of us. But if you translate the Sharara says, when you are on this way, this life will reveal something to you and will liberate you. It's a liberation action. You become free. So it's quite interesting if we look at this in this way, because Jesus said, so this I am within you is the light that shines upon the route or the journey or the road that you must take. And this will lead you to a revelation that will set you free. What is this revelation? And that's the last word, the Heya, which we translate with, the previous one is the truth, this one is the life. So the Heya says, the life force, which is in everything. The life force that is, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it universe, if you want to call it whatever name you want to give to it, but there's a life force within this whole universe, this whole cosmos, that gives life and brings life to everything, to you and to me as well. So, it's the way, the truth, and the life. The way is the light from the I am. The truth is this revelation that will set you free. And what is this revelation? The fact that the source of life is within each of you. You carry it. You don't need to run around and seek it. You don't need to go on a journey to find it somewhere in a temple or on a mountain. It is within you. That's why it says, Enya, Enya, the I am within you. That brings the light. This is not a statement that Jesus made, the way that traditional Christians translated it for many years. I am the way, the truth, and the life. This is a prophecy. It's a prophecy that says within you, all of this is already there. But, and there is a but. Like in every prophecy, there's always a but. So Jesus says, when you realize this, this is the way you come to God. And then he says, and no one can come to this God or this universe or the source of life but by me or but through me. And that's a very strong statement if you read it as a statement, because Christianity says this is the reason that Jesus is the only Savior, because he says nobody come to God or the Father but by me. Now the Aramaic is very interesting. The word but, if you translate it into the Aramaic, is a word that they used and said you have to mourn something. So when you lose a loved one to death, by death, passes away, you have to mourn. And we all have to mourn, and we know how healthy it is to mourn, to get the sadness out, to get the tears out, to recover and to heal yourself. So that but is the word that was used when they talked or said to somebody, you have to mourn. It is temporary. It's a passing thing. It's just for a while, and then you are healed and you can live on. You live still with a lot of, you miss the person, there's a lot of sadness still, but you are healed and you can live your life. So that's the but. The but says you have to do something in a space of time, a time that is going to pass. And the by me, in the Aramaic language, it's only one letter, the bet or the B. And the bet, if you go into the meaning of the original letters, the bet means the vessel. It can mean this building, and within this building something takes place. It can mean this body, and within this body is the I am. And that bet is used very often, that B is used very often in the Aramaic language. And you have to look at the whole sentence to understand in each situation what that be means. This be has a suffix at the end that makes it me, mine. That's why Jesus said, by me, in the English translation. So it's bet, the vessel which is mine. So when you read this whole passage, and you come to this part of the passage, it says, you have this I am that will do certain things for you because it's inside of you, and that will lead you to the God in your life. But you only have, and that's the but, you only have a specific space of time to do the work. And that specific space of time, Jesus defined here in this text as the time that you are in this body, the be. That's the time you have to do the work, to get to the state of uniting with the God in you. If you don't do the work, you miss the opportunity. If you don't travel this journey and grab with both hands this opportunity to do this, and it's hard work, it asks for patience, it asks for time, and that's the time that you have while you are in this vessel, while we are living in this body. We are living in exciting times, believe it or not. It's a time, the first time they say in history, that human beings on this planet have the opportunity to freely connect with the higher dimensions, the spiritual dimensions. They say there was this veil, this grid around earth, and that's been removed. So we are opened up. And this is the time that we can relate and can become one with the spiritual entities that's available. There's a lot of them. You probably know more than me about that. There's angels, there are spiritual guides, there are all these spiritual entities that's available to support us in this growth process. And the time is now. In this history that we live through now, we have this opportunity, this kind of space, area, and time to do the work to connect to the higher dimensions. Eckhart Tolle wrote a book that said The New Earth. There's a lot of people that wrote about that. And many people thought, a new world where there's peace and we're all going to be happy and we're going to live together and there won't be war. All of that is true. But that new earth is not a physical thing like a three-dimensional world that we live in. The new earth Eckhart Tolle and all the others wrote about is an earth where this higher dimension, we call it the fifth dimension, moved in and changed people. Change you. And the moment you change from this, while you are in this 3D, three-dimensional body, the moment your consciousness within changes to the fifth dimension, the new world for you starts. You see things differently, you live differently, you experience differently. You are a new person. You are the new earth. And it only will come into being if we do the work. Because we have the responsibility to bring the new world into existence, this new earth into existence. That is the prophecy that Jesus gave in John 14, verse 6, when he says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. But that I am is the I am in you. And when you find the light that will show you the path, and that will reveal to you the truth within you, and the truth within you is that source, or God, or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, the spark of life, that spark is within you. Otherwise you wouldn't have been here. Otherwise you wouldn't have been alive. And by realizing that, you become one with God, due to the I am. But remember, time is running out. You have this time now. Do the work. Don't be afraid. Fear never won. You have the support. You have the spiritual dimensions that's available to us now. If you put the intention out there that you want to travel this road and you want to do the work, that support will support you. That dimension will reach you, because the moment you put the intention out, you lift your inner dimensions and the two can connect. It sounds so easy. On the one side it is easy, and on the other side it's hard work. Because walk into a mall out there in the city and try to lift your dimension, your spirit. It's not easy. It's something that we need to focus on. It's something that we have to have patience with ourselves. We have to have patience with the I am in us, so that this can bring about the wonderful change, the revelation that you are a walking, talking Spirit of God. And you have the ability to bring about on this earth where you are now, the new earth. And may we be blessed and supported to do exactly that. Thank you.